Greetings, Glitter Gang. It's 9:50 on Thursday, February 11th. We're here for the second part of Kathryn Scraps Live. We just finished matting the flaps of all of the envelope portions of our Pouch-A-Lope, and now we're going to work on our closure. So I'm going to do the closure at the beginning of this video. This cardstock is graphite. Graphite is this COLORMATES Smooth and Silky is the brand, and graphite is the color. All right, so okay, the first thing is this plus this is basically 8, I think. So, because one's 3 3/4 and one's 3 1/2, so it's, well, it's 7 1/4. So I don't think any of this paper that's left is big enough. No, it's all 6. It's like 6 and something. So we can't use one piece of paper to get both the top and bottom flap, but that's okay. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 pieces, which is enough. So we can just pair them with each other and pick. So this is, you know, just where we're going to need to kind of think about what we want to pair with what. So I'm going to put these two together, or maybe these, like so. Do you like it better with the butterflies or the polka dots? Butterflies or polka dots? But the polka dots are definitely more exciting, like more energizing, because of the yellow. I think we'll do the polka dots. I know I asked you, but okay, so these are for the outsides. All right, the outsides. Okay. These two would look good together, but actually these two together. Those two. I'm gonna do these two. And that leaves me with these two. All right. That's all good. All right, let's start with these two and then go from there. So what I'm gonna do is cut these to, the one on the top gets cut to 7 1/2 wide by 3 3/4 long, and the one on the bottom gets cut to 7 1/2 wide by 3 1/2 long. So they're very similar in size, but not exactly the same. All right, so that's cut. And that's cut. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we need to find our embellishment for our closure. And let's just make sure I like what's going on underneath. Don't want to do that one. Let's go with this one. All right. All right, so let's get our embellishments. Next, we need to pick our embellishment. And our embellishment's gonna go here, right in the middle. So one thing we talked about was doing hold up. I'm gonna just put them so I can flip through them one sheet at a time instead of doubles. All right. So we talked about maybe doing one of these. You know, we could do coffee break, best friends, whatever. But we don't have to do that. We could do the hat. We could do this cafe, this coffee house, this photos. So really the question is, do we want to make them all the same or make them all different? I'll let you vote on whether or not you want them all the same or all different. So if you want to do all the sticks the same, then type a 1. And if you want to do all the sticks, and if we do them all the same, it's going to be these, because that's what we have 6 of. So they're all going to be topped with one of these. That's all the same. And if that's a 1. If you want to do them all different, type a 2. Okay, so if we did them all different, like 1 would be one of these, maybe 1 would be this coffee cup, whatever. So 2 would be different. So 1 would be these. They're all going to be made out of these. And 2 would be, they're all made out of whatever embellishment we think is the cutest for the image. And then while you are voting, I'll just get the tape started for this one. I'll start taping and punching these, and then we'll go from there. Oh, a lot of people going for different, which is going to make that a lot harder for me. So I probably shouldn't have given it as an option and should have just said, hey, we're just going to do them all with the thing. With the thing. Out of tape on this roll. All right, we'll do them all different. Yeah, it's definitely different is clearly winning, so that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. One thing I'll never understand about Miracle Tape is why they tape the roll shut. It's tape. It's tape, right? It's gonna stay shut, right? Like, right? It is my book. I can do whatever I want. It's true. But I'll go ahead and do them all different. It's fine. So you can find the start of the roll. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe that is why. Maybe that is why. Maybe there's a reason to the madness. Okay. So I'm going to chomp the corners and ink these, and then what we're going to do is we're going to create a template. Almost chomped the wrong corner. We're going to make a template for the slits. So I'm going to cut this piece to the sizes I need. It's just a scrap that I have lying around. And what we need to do is we need to see where, you know, because we want them to be about 2 inches apart and centered. So what I'm going to do is mark 1 inch up from the edge of the pattern paper. And then that's easy, but we need 1 inch down from the whatever. And I actually want it to be, so I'm going to draw an arrow to about where the inch is, and then I'll let you know how far up from the bottom that is. So it's about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom. So honestly, I think we could do 1 inch up from the bottom of both of them is where we'll do our line. So this is the bottom piece. This is the top piece. I'm going to do 1 inch up from here. Top. Now, let's say we want the loop to be 2.5 inches, okay? I don't know that we want it that big. Let me measure how wide this is. Yeah, I think we want our loop to be 2 inches. Our loop to be 2 inches. All right, so we want our loop to be 2 inches, so we know that this is 7.5, okay? So to find where we would put them to have 2 inches is we would do 7.5. We would subtract 2 inches from the 7.5, which gives us 5.5. And then we divide that in 2. And divided in 2, 5.5 is 2 3/4. So we're going to make our slits 2 3/4 inches in from the edge. On either side. Letitia, you can, I got these nails from a company called the Nailist. So you can have these nails as well if you want them. They're pre-painted nails. And you just glue them on. And what I do is, so that they'll last longer, is I paint my nails with polish, you know, do base coat, polish, top coat, and I use gel because that's what I have. And then I rough up the top layer of the top coat with a sanding block, and then I glue the nails to the top layer of the nail polish. That way, if one of them gets caught and yanked off, it like isn't pulling like with super glue on my natural nail. It'll just pull off the polish, and that works great for me, and they last a really long time as well. And I think it lasts a lot longer for me that way because I said in this afternoon show I was going to show my new styles and let you pick the next one, and then I just didn't. So remind me again at the end of tonight's show, and I'll show you the 6 new styles I have and let you pick the ones I do after this one. But I think because like your natural nail has oil in it and is oily, so I think that being stuck to the polish is what helps extend them, because I've had these on for 3 weeks and I've only had to repair, or actually this is my 4th week. I've only had to repair this one and this one, and this one's obvious because this is always my first nail to have a problem. This one was kind of weird. It just, I don't think I glued it very well. All right, so once I'm in 2 3/4 from the edges, okay, I'm going to make my loops 1/4 inch of cardstock. So what we're going to do is we want to make a slit that's like 3/8 inch. So I'm going to make a line 1/8 inch up from the line, and then 1/4 inch down from the line. Okay, so now I have this. All right, so I'm going to punch a hole here and here, here and here, and then that's going to make my slit. So I'm going to use my 1/16 inch hole punch from We Are Memory Keepers. Okay. All right, and then I only have to punch the holes. I don't actually have to do the connection. And the reason why is because on my pattern paper, I'm just going to punch the holes and then cut a slit from hole to hole. So I don't need to cut the actual slit in the template. So same thing on the template on the top. I'm going to put the 1/8 inch mark on my ruler on the line that I drew and draw a new line. And then I'm going to do the 1/4 inch line on my original line and draw a new line. And then I'm going to punch this hole and this hole and this hole and this hole. And I probably could do 1/8 and 1/8 because the hole is the hole kind of extends it a little bit, and yeah, let me just do 1/8 and 1/8. It's fine. I'm going to do 1/8 and 1/8. We'll see how 1/8 and 1/8 does. I think 1/8 and 1/8 will be fine, because the hole extends the slit a little bit by virtue of being a hole. just needs to be big enough to stick a 1/4 inch piece of cardstock in there. Alrighty. But yeah, that's what like I said, I cover mine with polish because I don't want to be putting super glue on my natural nail and ruining my natural nail beds, you know. So if anything's gonna peel, I want it to be my polish. All right, so this is the bottom. So I'm just gonna take the template and I'm gonna mark my holes. Okay. And then this is the top. I'm going to take my template and mark my holes. And I'm marking the top 2 holes. And we'll hope for the best. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch these holes again with my 1/16 inch hole punch. Okay. And then do it on both of them. All right. And then I'm going to just get out my glass mat and I'm going to cut the slit by cutting the 2 edges of the holes so it makes a little slit in the paper. And you can use a ruler for this, but it's such a small little area, I am not going to. Okay. So obviously the first time you do it when you're making the template, it takes longer. The rest of the times it's going to take less time. Okay, so now what we need is a 1/4 inch strip of pattern paper. That's like 3 inches, or not pattern paper, of the cardstock. So I'm going to cut a piece that's like 3.5 inches, and then I'll cut a bunch of 1/4 inch pieces off of it. I'll do 3.5 so I have plenty of room to stick it down. No, I'm going to do 3. Just going to do 3. And I need 24, or no, I need 12 of them. Because it's 2 per envelope, and there's 6 envelopes. And this is so simple. All right, so then all we have to do is just take this and stick it through. And a 1/4 inch was plenty big. Plenty big. All right. So, just gonna stick a little piece of tape down. And that's where it's gonna go. That's how it's gonna look on the page. Okay. I'm using tape on this one because I didn't quite plan ahead. On all the rest of them, I'll put a little splotch of Miracle Tape there. Although, you know, this scrapbooking tape is fine to use. It's just, I think that the scrapbooking tape costs more than the Miracle Tape. So, all right. So now we've got the 2 bands. All right. Now, and they're gonna go there and there. So now we just need our spike, I guess. Okay, so let me ink these and stick them down. And what I'm gonna do to make sure everything's gonna hang tight for me is I'm gonna put Miracle Tape above and below the slit, just so it's well stuck down. Okay. And we're going to burnish everything and stick it down. And then we're going to make our spike. All right, so beautiful. All right, now to make our spike, we're gonna need 1 3/4 inch strips of pattern or cardstock and 1 1/2 inch strips of pattern paper. And we just need to think about how long we want our spike to be. All right. So we want our spike to be probably no longer than this. So from, that's not a ruler. Actually, it is a ruler. From the end of the paper to the top, we can do 2 1/2 inches. Okay. All right, 2 1/2 inches. So what we're gonna do, is we need a coordinating piece of pattern paper. And I've got oh, here they are. Okay. So let's use our little stripes here, or our little scraps. And for this one, I'll go ahead and use this. Okay. And then, so this is going to go like right here. So we just need whatever is going to go on the pattern paper. I'm going to use this. So we need a 1.5 inch piece of this. And what I say, 2.5 inches, right? So 1.5 by 2.5. Okay. I'm going to glue this because it's going to be going under these stripe little bands. So it'll be better if it has a little glue. All right, and then with this, we're going to stick it right at the top. So I'm going to cut this out, ink the edge. Okay. Okay, so we're going to ink it so it's just right here. Or glue it. And then I do see that there's some, this hangs over the edge a little bit, so I'm going to glue some cardstock to it where it hangs over the edge a little bit. So the whole piece is gray all the way around. All right, we're about to find out if it works as an idea. Okay. So now I'm gonna cut around the edge. Just gonna burnish the whole thing really well. Use my glass mat to cut around the noteworthy. Then we'll find out if it works. I need to change my blade, but I don't want to, so I'm going to switch to scissors. Okay. Well, it actually worked. Look at that. Yay! So our spike works. Our spike closure works. All right, so we have our spike closure now as a proof of concept. Yeah, I think to get it in and out easier, we should round the corners. This one, because it's already glued down, I'm not going to. But we can try that on future spikes. But it's closed. The envelope is very closed. The envelope is very closed. I also wonder if we rubbed it with wax paper, if that would lubricate it. Do I have any wax paper? Yes, I do. Well, it's simpler to make the button and string closure too. All right, that's what it needed. All right. A little wax paper really helps sometimes. Make ourselves a nice little stack of wax. Okay. All right, let's see. how do we want to proceed from here with the matting? The one thing I want to do is I want to cut my paper wider, or my cardstock wider rather, because, and then trim it down so that I don't have to add the extra little pieces on the sides. Because where there's the split, they're being feisty. I'm going to have to put tape on them. To keep them from splitting on the stripe. On the back. On this one. I won't have to on future ones because I'm going to do them all as one piece. Because this is what happens when you just have like a theoretical idea and you don't know if it works. Then you don't know what the pitfalls are. Here's a pitfall. Now, if you want to do a magnet because it's easier, do a magnet. Do the swivel from the original Pouch-A-Lope. You can see how to do that on the YouTube playlist for the original Pouch-A-Lope, which was the Christmas in July project from this year. This bottom loop is the more troublesome loop because you've got to go down because this is elevated. So you have to like kind of push. You have to push. I don't know how to describe it. Because the top is thicker, it has to go over that lip, then under the loop. So that's why the bottom one is harder. Like it goes right in the top one, but then it hits the bottom one. And it's because of this top flap. But we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Well, we've got one. After a few times, it will be fine when it loosens up a little on the bottom. All right. Okay. So we've got our paplers. I don't even know what language I'm speaking anymore. It's not English, so that's cool. All right. You could leave a little slack in the bottom loop as well. Yeah. Don't put it all the way flat. Give it like a little bit of a breathing space. That would help as well. Yep. And just especially because the top loop isn't really that problematic. It's really the bottom loop that is the problem. All right. Let's do one more and see how quickly it goes when we're, when we know what we're doing and we have a template. All right. So I'm going to cut my pattern paper. All right, so I've got my pattern paper. And make our marks. And punch our holes. Now, if you want to do for your bottom loop, take like a scrap and fold it in half, and then maybe fold it in half again, so you've got 4 pattern papers, okay? And then when on the bottom, when you slide your loop through, oops, I gotta actually cut it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get my ATG. And I'm going to put it on either side. So on the bottom, take your pattern paper scrap and when you stick down your loops, leave that in. That way there's like a little bit of breathing room on your bottom piece. See how there's ever so slightly breathing room now? Go ahead and do that. Okay. And then on your top piece, you don't really need that breathing room. But if you wanted to get fancy, you could do like half of it on the top. And so that it's less on the top than it is on the bottom. Alrighty, that's all it takes. So now we're just gonna take our 1/4 inch tape and go all the way around the edges. And that will be our spike closure. And then we'll chomp, glue, stick, and then we'll make the closures. It's making the actual little spike that goes in them that's going to be the more time-consuming part of the process versus this, because now that we have the template, this actually went very quickly. All right, so burnish everything and then cut the 2 pieces of paper apart. Chomp the appropriate corners, ink and stick down. So I'm using the 3/8 inch chomp. So yeah, look how quickly we can do it. It's not hard. It's not hard to do. It's the right corner. It's because they're the same size, Bev. they're very confusing because they're almost the same size. Okay. So now all we have to do is just peel the tape and stick them down. It also doesn't help that they're the front and back of the same pattern. So, you know. All right. And then okay, so now all we have to do is pick our embellishment. And we can go as crazy as we want because there's nothing going on this page. So we could just use this giant coffee house. I think it's going to be between 2 1/4 and 2 1/2. Yeah, it's between 2 1/4 and 2 1/2. So I'm going to just use 2 1/4 and center it. Okay. Then I'm going to cut a 2 1/2 inch circle. Stick it on like so. All right, so we just need what? Oh, we should have done a label. You're right, Ellen. We should have done a label, but I just looked up. What width is this? 2 inches? Is that what I said? Or is it one? It's 1 3/4, right? Spike's 1 3/4. Pattern paper's 1 1/2 by 2 1/2, I think. So for our pattern paper, I'm thinking I'm going to do the butterflies because they're 1 1/2. And we'll do 1 1/2 strip of the butterflies. I'm going to do a little bit longer this time because my circle, you know, I'll put the bottom of my circle at 2 1/2 inches. And then it will be what it will be. All right, so we've got this. Okay, so I'm going to glue this circle to this circle, and then I'm going to glue this spike to this spike, and then we'll glue the circle to the circle, glue the circle to the spike. Okay. So I'm going to go up 1, 2.5 inches. So this line is where I'm going to put, you know, the bottom of my coffee house thing. So 1, 2.5. Coffee house. And then I'll just wipe the glue off the back with my finger and then wipe it on my apron. Oh, I forgot to round the corner. It's too late once the pattern paper goes on, so next time maybe. All right, just trim off the top. Give it a swipe with the wax paper. And there's spike number 2. And it slid right in because of the pattern paper that we stuck under that loop. All right. Well, you don't have to plan the loop that well, because what you could do is all you have to do is glue the coffee cup to the loop. So what I mean is if you want to hide your loops, you can. Here's how. If you wanted to hide your loops under things, what you would do is cut the things out. You don't have to pre-plan this. Okay, so if you wanted it to be like this, where it looks like it's going behind this coffee cup, all you have to do, the coffee cup I think is too short to be used as a spike. Well, you could use the coffee cup as a spike, but it's a little short. You'd have to adjust, you might have to adjust your loops. All right. Let's just give that a second to dry. So this would be if you want to hide your spikes, hide your loops, right? No, it doesn't glue it shut because there's only glue on the loops. So the way that you do it is by only putting the glue on the loop. So you don't put the glue on the coffee cup, you put the glue on the loop, and then you put the coffee cup there so that the only place the coffee cup is stuck down is, oh, you're right. It will glue it shut. Never mind. You can't do this because you can't open it again. She's right. So you can't glue it. It does glue it shut because you have to be able to open the envelope. So never mind. You can't do that. Just kidding. Just be happy with your spike. Okay? Just be happy with your spikes. Stop trying to get more stuff. You already got a spike. What more do you want? You're so... You could only glue it to the top loop. At that point, it's just barely hanging on, and I wonder how it is for longevity. But it would work. I don't know how like long-term sturdy it would be. You know what I mean? So, like, I do think that it would work. It would just depend on how careful the people who look at look at your albums are, because it would only be glued to this very fragile little piece of cardstock. Yeah, you can use anything as a spike under the loops that you want. I'm just backing this with cardstock. If you want to make coffee cup spikes, you absolutely can, especially if you have the digital collection, because then you could print them out exactly the right size. All right, now we have this ready to go. We'll use that as an embellishment on another spike or something. Okay. Now I'm going to very carefully try to fix these loops. And I'm going to do that by just gluing another piece of paper to them. Very carefully. Just so they don't look so raggedy. Raggedy! Barbara Jean's chat is behind because she just typed in the or she's behind on the video, I think, because she just typed in the chat that if I glued the coffee mug to the thing, it won't open. And we're from the future, and we already know that that doesn't work. So yeah, could the coffee cup be a spike that's inserted in the bottom loop only? Yes, there is a way that you can do, like, where you have just like a bottom thing. What I would recommend if you want to just stick stuff in the bottom, like just have a bottom loop, is that not that you have a loop, but that you do a slit instead. And what you would do is you would do a slit in the pattern paper and the cardstock, and then you would cover that on the back, so the slit would be cut through to the back, but you wouldn't see it because you would put pattern paper on the back, okay? And you just wouldn't make sure there's no glue like beneath the slit, so stuff can go in the pocket. I did that on the Halloween album. I did something similar. That way it's just sturdier. I worry about one little 1/4-inch piece of paper taking all of the responsibility for holding something together. You know what I mean? This is my concern. There's plenty of stuff that like you could do and it would look cute. The question is, how long would it look cute? You know what I mean? That's what I worry about. So for if you wanted to do just stuff at the bottom, then you could do a slit, which is something I considered for this album, but then I wanted to do this spike thing. But let me show you what I mean. It's somewhere in this, right? Yeah, okay. This is the idea. See, this one I did it curved, okay? It's curved, but you could do it straight across. So I made this curved slit. It's in the cardstock. Okay, and then you can see how there's pattern paper back there so that this can go in and you're not looking at the inside of the book, right? You see that pattern paper, and the pattern paper is glued all around the slit. And I have the top tucked in. You could, of course, stick a spike in it and use it as a closure just as well. But that is a way to do it that I think would give you the same vibes, but would be a little sturdier than just that little strip of paper. I mean, we probably... All right, so now it's like it never happened. Now it's like it never happened. We're fine. Put our spike back in. We're all good. Yay. Okay, we got 2 of them done. And that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. But before I go, I'll let you pick some nails, because I'm hoping tomorrow, my plan is to take a really long bath, and I'm hoping that in the bath it'll loosen the glue, like if I soak in a bubble bath for a long time, you know. So I'm hoping over the weekend I'll need to do my nails. Hope spring eternal. Okay, so that's it for like the tutorial portion of the evening. We'll do the nails and then I'll go. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Scrappy Bowl was a blast. The project is looking cute. We're inventing new closures. I need to save these things because these are all important. They're not trash. Let me get them an envelope or a baggie to live in. Now we have the spike closure, all kinds of fun stuff. We even need to save this little scrap of pattern paper. This is an important bag that looks like a bag of trash. All right. So, let me get this stuff off my desk and get my nail box. And then hopefully those of you that care, you can vote on nails. But if you don't care, you don't care. All right. Barbara Jean just caught up. She tried to save us. She tried to save us, but she was in the past. She couldn't save us in the future. She tried. She tried. You care, Kimberly cares. Okay. All right, so this is the website, the nail list, okay? And these ones that I'm wearing right now, these ones are called Instant Glam. And these ones in this case are called Instant Luxury. But they're similar in that they're pre-done nails. So these are like a rose gold and glitter marble. almost more foiled. Like they're very shiny. These are kind of a pink on pink, like a smoky. Let me see. Let's do this. Let's I put you on autofocus. How do I do that again? Nope, that's not what I want. I need to, here we go. Okay, so now they're on autofocus, so I should be able to bring, there you go. You can see that they're like a smoky pink, like water marble effect. I'll show you the first ones. And these are more foiled, you can see. But they're still kind of marbly and glittery, but these are more rose gold and these are more pink. All right, what else we got? The butterflies. Now with the butterflies, I'm thinking, so they'll show up better on camera. Maybe I should paint them blue underneath or something like that. So the butterflies will show up better on camera. And then what have we got? So I don't know. Everyone's like, what? And then this is an ombre glitter. And there, if you're wondering like how many you get a ton. But most of them are underneath. So they say, oops, it's like 34. It's enough to do 2 sets. Oops, I'm just like throwing them everywhere now. All right, and then they're already painted. So you just, like there's a little instructions right there on how to stick them on. And they have a little nail glue in there. All right, these are probably my favorites, these ones. They're like kind of 80s vibes. I like the nude with the color tips. And then the last ones are the fanciest. They're hard to get out of this thing. They had a gift set of them on sale. And I got the gift set, but they're hard to get out of the box. These ones are the blingiest. See, they have little spiky gems on them. So that's all of them. That's all of the nails. So I don't know. That's them. So I'm hoping I'll be able to swap my nails at some point this weekend. We shall see. They've been hanging in for a lot longer than I thought they would. So, but yeah, we've got the bling, the butterfly, the rose gold marble. We've got the 80s vibes, the pinky smoky ones, and the ombre glitter. So those are the different styles. So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you want to vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that's my little box of nails. So I'm going to try them. And basically why I'm wearing these is I need to, you know, when I had the acrylic nails done for my sister's wedding, it really wrecked my natural nail because, you know, acrylic nails always ruin your natural nail. And so as I'm letting them grow out, the part that was, you know, kind of ruined by the acrylic, once they start to get very much past my finger, they get really flaky and shreddy, and they kind of like they break a lot. So I'm using these as kind of like an in-between phase where I can have my nails looking nice and have my nails being long without continuing the process by continuing the damage by getting like more acrylic, you know, until they're all grown out and I can do my own thing again. Because it doesn't take me any less time to do these nails than it does to do my normal nails, because it's like it's not a time saver for me because I still do a gel nail underneath to protect my natural nail. So it's not a time saver exactly, but it's you and Kimberly get to decide then. You're the ones who decide. How does it feel to be so powerful, Gretchen and Kimberly? All right, so that's them, but they're from the nail list. Yeah, this bottom right corner. Oh, Kathryn also agreed. Oh, Deb dissented. Deb likes the rose gold. I like the 80s vibes, Jan. I was thinking of saving those for the spring as well. These ones, I was thinking that's like a spring nail for sure. That's a spring nail. I was kind of leaning towards these because it's Valentine's Day this weekend, but it's like I don't even know if these are going to fall off. You know what I mean? Like I was planning for this particular manicure to be gone by now. Like I've had this for a long time, just waiting for these to fall off, which they refuse to do. So, you know, which I guess I shouldn't complain about because they cost money. So it's nice that they last. But, you know, like, I like to switch it up. I like to switch it up. So, well, let me turn off autofocus before I forget. Oops. And it was... Ugh. All right. We are all good. The butterfly are springy as well. That's exactly right. Bev says if you didn't want them to fall off, they'd be falling off right and left. That is the case. That's why this one broke the morning of Scrappy Bowl. This one fell off. And I was like, really? Really, we're doing this? we're doing the morning of Scrappy Bowl? You've been hanging in there for 3 weeks? Yeah, now is the day? You jerk. So, luckily, it didn't rip any of the polish off with it, so I was able to just like quickly glue it back on, so it wasn't worst case scenario, but I was just like, honestly, nails. All right. That was really exciting, I'm sure, for everyone who stuck around. But anyway, I'll see you all on Thursday, February 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time. I'm here every Thursday live at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. We're going to continue the Pouch-A-Lope album until it's done. All of those will be on YouTube as well as in the archives. And I'll be back. Bye now.